Please video like and subscribe this channel. Commander Jaren Holt had faced countless dangers across the stars, from asteroid ambushes to rogue warships. Yet nothing had prepared him for the moment he stepped into the Valara Royal Palace, a place of blinding crystalline architecture, where the very walls seemed alive with light. The palace hummed with energy, but Jaren immediately sensed tension, as though every being present, guards, attendants, and diplomats alike, waited for something to happen. At the center of it all stood the alien princess, her lithe form clad in gleaming armor that reflected the violet light of the hall. Her silver hair shimmered in the light, and her eyes, vast and starlit, seemed to peer directly into his soul. She was breathtaking, commanding, and yet strangely vulnerable. He had been summoned to inspect the palace's security systems, a routine diplomatic assignment, yet the air here carried a gravity unlike any he had encountered. As he approached, the princess turned, her gaze locking onto his. "Human," she said, her voice soft yet precise, "come closer." Jaren obeyed, though every step seemed to echo in the vast, empty space. Behind her, the queen and attendants observed silently, their faces unreadable. Something was about to happen, though he could not yet understand what. "The princess speaks." The princess took a single step forward, lowering her visor. The light caught the contours of her face, revealing an intensity that was both commanding and haunting. "You see this armor," she said, gesturing to her protective suit, "but it is not enough. I cannot do this alone." Jaren's brow furrowed. "Do what alone?" he asked cautiously. Her eyes glimmered with unspoken weight. "Defend my people. Protect my family. Uphold the balance of our world. Anne, I need your help." The words hung in the air. A human, a soldier, was being asked to assist a princess in ways that transcended simple diplomacy. Jaren's instincts screamed caution. In his experience, no request from royalty was ever without consequences. Yet there was sincerity in her tone, something that commanded trust. Before he could respond, she took another step, and then something unexpected happened. The moment of vulnerability. With a careful, deliberate motion, the princess began to remove her armor. Piece by piece, the gleaming plates that had shielded her body from view were set aside. Her movements were precise, almost ceremonial, yet there was an undeniable vulnerability in what she was doing. Jaren froze. He had trained to remain professional, to maintain composure in the face of danger, but this was different. This was not a threat, this was trust. The princess was revealing herself, literally and figuratively, to him. "Don't be ashamed, human," she said, her voice gentle but firm. "Help me. I cannot do this alone." The palace, which had been alive with quiet movement, went completely silent. Guards stopped mid-step. Attendants froze in place. Even the faint hum of the palace's energy panels seemed to fade into nothing. Every eye was on him and on her. The weight of the choice. Jaren felt the full gravity of the situation. To act carelessly would be a breach of protocol, to hesitate would betray the trust she had placed in him. And yet, in that instant, he understood that hesitation was not an option. I will help," he said steadily. His voice carried across the hall, breaking the silence. The princess's eyes softened. "Then you understand. You are no longer just an observer. You are a protector. Your actions from this moment will carry consequences beyond your comprehension." The queen's voice rang out, calm yet commanding. "Human, you have been chosen by my daughter. Protect her, and you protect the balance of Valara. Fail, and the repercussions will ripple across galaxies." Jaren's mind raced. He had faced wars and crises before, but never had the fate of an entire civilization rested on his choices alone. The threat emerges. No sooner had he accepted her request than alarms blared throughout the palace. Red lights flashed. Security protocols activated. Rogue factions, long planning to destabilize the Valara monarchy, had breached the outer defenses. Jeren immediately shifted into combat readiness mode. "Stay close to me," he said, and the princess nodded without hesitation. Despite her small frame, there was a surprising confidence in her movements. She led him through corridors that twisted and turned like a labyrinth, guiding him with precision. The palace guards formed defensive lines, but Jeren realized that the princess's safety depended on his decisions as much as theirs. Every step, every turn, was a delicate balance between caution and speed. The escape route. Through secret passages and emergency corridors, Jeren and the princess moved swiftly. The palace, normally a place of ceremony and beauty, had become a battlefield of strategy and urgency. Blaster fire echoed from distant halls, but the humans' training and the princess's intimate knowledge of her home allowed them to avoid direct confrontation. She paused briefly, turning to him. "The armor you see is not what protects me. It is our people, our unity, and those who fight for us. You have accepted that responsibility, human. That is why you can help me now." Jeren nodded. He understood now. This moment, the removal of armor, the plea for help, was not just about physical protection. It was a test of courage, empathy, and decisiveness. Facing the enemy. At the shuttle bay, the rogue forces finally confronted them. Jeren and the princess stood side by side. She did not hesitate, she trusted him completely. "Cover me," Jeren shouted, as the princess activated a small defensive device, projecting a shield of energy that shimmered like liquid light. Together, they fought, the humans' tactics perfectly complementing the princess's knowledge of her people's advanced technology. The intruders were skilled, but the combination of human ingenuity and alien precision proved unstoppable. Within minutes, the threat was neutralized. The shuttle bay was secure. The moment of trust solidifies. As the shuttle lifted off, leaving the palace behind, the princess looked at Jeren with a mixture of relief and admiration. "You did well," she said softly. "Not just because of your skill, but because of your willingness to act without hesitation." Jeren exhaled, allowing himself a moment to absorb what had transpired. "I only did what needed to be done," he replied. "No," she corrected gently. "You did more. You earned my trust, and with it, the trust of my people." The Queen's voice came over the shuttle comm system. "Human, today you have proven that courage and empathy are stronger than the strongest armor. Remember this lesson. True strength comes from understanding and action, not from fear or hesitation." A new bond. In the quiet of the shuttle, traveling across starlit space, Jeren held the princess close. It was not just protection, it was a mutual acknowledgement of trust and respect. He realized that this moment would shape not only his life but the future of Valara. The princess rested her head against his chest. "Thank you, human," she whispered. "I knew I could trust you." Jeren smiled, a mixture of pride, relief, and awe. "I'll always protect you," he said. The stars stretched endlessly beyond the shuttle's windows. In that infinite expanse, a human and an alien princess shared a bond forged in courage, trust, and the extraordinary weight of responsibility. Together, they faced a galaxy full of dangers, knowing that their choices could change the fate of countless worlds. The palace may have been behind them, and the immediate danger neutralized, but Jeren understood that this was only the beginning. He had been chosen, trusted, and tested. And now, he carried a responsibility that transcended worlds. In the vast silence of space, the princess's hand found his again. Jeren squeezed it gently, silently promising to honor the trust she had placed in him. He had accepted her plea for help and in doing so, had stepped into a destiny that would challenge every skill, every decision, and every ounce of courage he possessed. For the first time, he understood what the Queen had meant. Armor protects the body, but trust and courage protect civilizations. And together, the human and the alien princess would navigate the galaxy, bound by a moment of vulnerability and a promise that could change everything. End.